Monsignor Jamie, and welcome to a new episode of Breaking Bread, where we bring life's favorite ingredients together: faith, family, friends, and most of all, food. And today we have a special guest with us, someone you may recognize if you're addicted to QVC like I am. He is the electronics expert, Michael Padula. He's going to be on our show, and hopefully he likes my food so much that he'll sell my cookbook on his show. Don't go away. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and today we have with us a special guest, Michael Padula from QVC. He's the electronics expert, and he's going to talk to us about his career.
I am an on-air expert at QVC, which means that I am technically an electronics expert, which means that I represent different brands that come on QVC. I endorse and kind of talk about different electronic products such as laptop computers, desktop computers, paper shredders. I am an actor and a voiceover artist and have done some hosting. I started about 20 years ago in college as a radio announcer and then moved into commercials. Lived in Los Angeles for a while, was doing commercials, did some voiceovers, moved into on-air hosting, and then finally, within the last 5 years, have kind of gone towards on-camera acting a little bit more and have done some little appearances on a few network TV shows. Monsignor Jamie, I'm really excited because I heard that you are making parese frittata today, and as a fellow CIA trained chef, as my dad, I'm looking super forward to your cooking. Not going to compare the two. I'm sure you're going to blow him out of the water. We won't tell him that, but looking very forward to trying the frittata today.
Michael, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
It's been a while, not too long, but it's been a while.
Yeah, familiar spot.
I know.
It's been too long.
You've been working on the show. You helped us put this together.
I have.
And now your career took off.
Thank you, and thank everybody that I used to work with here on this show, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with where I am.
We're happy for you. I know you grew up in Staten Island.
I was born on Staten Island, but then moved to Louisiana and grew up there.
Oh, you grew up there.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So Italian New Yorker with roots here, but then left and went to Louisiana and grew up a Southerner.
So now tell me, how did you get involved with QVC, and how did that all work out?
So, I've been in the entertainment world for quite a while now, a little over 20 years. Started off as a radio jock.
When you started, 5 years old?
Yeah, from your mouth to his ears. So in continuing on with some acting and some on-air hosting that I did, somebody that I knew that was working in the casting for QVC said, you should go out for this. And I went out for it, and they ended up saying to me, we'd really like for you to be a guest host for us and to share your knowledge of electronics and talk about different products that we have here at QVC. So it was kind of a little bit of luck and hopefully a little bit.
So you had a background in electronics before? Or?
I had a hobby of electronics
and
just a background of some television and some on-air hosting, and those kind of came together, and that's how I ended up.
Now, how many printers and shredders and computers do you sell in a day?
Okay, so I know that the busiest day that I was on the air, I don't know how many units it was, but it was well into the 7 figures of dollars.
In one day?
Correct. One product in one day.
When you watch the show, you sit there, you don't have that much time, but when you do watch it, you're tempted to buy these things. It's amazing. It's so easy and everything looks so great. And I have to say, a lot of the things are good, but sometimes you get a lot smaller than you see on TV.
You know what? 30 days to try it or send it back. That's what we say on the air.
But I tell you, I bought a lot of things from there, and I have to say, it's so easy. You just click, click, click.
It's kind of a smart business model they do. But yeah, and listen, we have a good time bringing products to viewers and to the family who want to check things out. And I don't get to work on every product, but the ones that I do, I tend to only work with the products that I happen to really, really like.
That's good. So, if you like it, it's so much easier to sell.
Absolutely.
That's why you're going to love my cookbook, and you're going to be able to sell.
I heard about this. We'll have to see if we can get it on cue.
That would be good. That would be fantastic.
We'll see about that.
All the profits go to futures in education.
Well,
so hopefully
even more the reason.
Yeah. So anyway, tell me a little about your background. I understand that your father was a chef at you went to the Culinary Institute, or he taught there?
He attended the Culinary Institute.
Right? Like myself.
Like yourself, yes, that's a matter of fact. Graduated from there and worked at a couple of spots in New York City and has continued to work as a chef to this day. Never taught there. He did teach back in Louisiana, as a matter of fact. He taught culinary arts at the local community college there, but he still works as a chef to this day. He's down south still. He's in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Still cooking.
He was at the Russian Tea Room.
He was.
Heard, and
That's
where
correct.
else?
A few of the bigger ones that I remember from being a kid were down south, and you wouldn't know
Right,
those.
right,
but
right.
Russian Tea Room is probably the
that's
biggest
so
one
famous,
that he worked
Oh,
at.
that's great. And
Yeah.
did any of that, those skills,
Listen, I mean,
you like to cook?
I do. I actually.
Now, you live
really
in Bay
do.
Ridge, right?
I do.
Now?
I live in Bay Ridge. I was saying earlier today that the only way that I feel like I really know that I'm the father of a chef is I don't like to use measuring cups or measuring spoons when I'm cooking.
Oh, that's
I
so
just
true.
taste and try and use these and this and.
That's one of the complaints that I get with this show.
Is that right?
Because I say a little of this and a little of that, and Craig, our executive director, he's always saying, you have to say how much you put in a teaspoon. People call me up. As a chef, we don't do that. Even my grandmother used to do that. My aunt and stuff, when they would cook a little of this, they would never give you a recipe.
I'm telling you, it goes against something I feel innately, and I think it's just the chef's blood that's in me. But I get it. I get it completely.
But it is an art, and the more you do it, the easier it is. So you really don't follow recipes. And with cooking is too, we have a tendency, the things we like, we put more of.
Sure.
Yeah, and you can do that. You can be creative with cooking.
Sure.
It's not, baking is different. Baking, it's a science. Everything has to interact with one another. But as far as the food, you're creative. And I tell you, if I don't like certain things, like I don't like olives.
Okay.
So I cook very few dishes with olives.
Okay.
And if it's in there, I just eliminate it.
As you should. As you should.
So anyway, we're gonna take a break and we'll prepare a meal. I hope you like it.
I'm excited.
We'll take a break right now and don't go away. We'll be back with Michael Padula from QVC. Welcome back to Breaking Bread with Michael Padula from QVC. He's the electronics expert. And today I'm going to be preparing a barese frittata for him. And hopefully he enjoys it.
I have no doubts. I'm sold already.
All right. You don't look like you eat too much though.
Oh, thank you very much.
But you're
It's
Italian.
an optical illusion.
Okay, this frittata comes from the Bari region, which is in southern Italy on the Adriatic. And it's a very simple thing. And what makes it a little different is that instead of whipping up the eggs, we put them in a blender so they become very fluffy. So I'm just gonna I took 8 eggs. I'm gonna put this in the blender. All right. And then we're gonna throw in 8 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tablespoons of breadcrumbs.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. See, I know how to count.
Yeah.
A little salt. A little pepper. And a little hot pepper. I love a little spice.
Yeah.
You come from Louisiana,
That's
right?
Yeah.
You're used to spice. So
Bring
put
the
this in
spice.
here. Okay, we're just gonna. There we go. Just for about 30 seconds or so. It'll get nice and aerated. Okay, now I have my saute pan in here. Put a little olive oil.
Right.
I also want to put a little cooking spray along the side,
Okay.
so it doesn't stick.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in some peppers,
Yep.
some onions.
Okay.
I like to use red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers. Makes it nice and colorful.
Sure.
So I'm gonna put this on. Put this a little higher. Let that saute for a minute. And then I have here some potatoes. I got
Okay.
small new potatoes, the
Okay.
mini potatoes. I have some red, yellow, purple potatoes. Throw some of those in.
Okay.
We're just gonna let this saute for a while. And it's a very easy dish.
Yeah.
I mean, frittatas you can make with anything.
Sure.
Leftovers,
Okay.
meats, vegetables, chicken, fish, anything. You mix it all together, you throw some vegetables with it, you just throw in some eggs, and what makes this different, as I said, we're blending the eggs. So
Sure.
it's gonna be really aerated and fluffy.
Okay.
And we're just gonna saute this a little bit. After the sautes, I blanched the potatoes already because they were a little hard.
Sure.
So we cook them a little bit. All the other vegetables are fresh, uncooked.
Mm-hmm.
I throw the egg in, and then we're gonna put it in the oven for a few minutes. So while that's sauteing, tell me a little bit about yourself. I understand you do some mission work too. You've been to
I did.
Puerto Rico, you've
Yeah.
been down south, you've been...
Yeah.
Where else?
I was lucky enough to be able to come along with 2 mission trips that we did here locally. We went to do some hurricane relief work after 2 hurricanes in both Puerto Rico and in Houston.
All right.
There was a group of us that went down. Super rewarding experience. It was so touching to see how grateful the hurricane victims were to us volunteers who came down.
What organization did you?
It was through Catholic Charities.
Yeah. Okay. Catholic Charities.
Yeah.
I know Catholic Relief Services also, they do, but Catholic Charities here in the United States, yes.
Yeah. We actually teamed up with an organization called All Hands and Hearts, which does relief work all over the world, as a matter of fact. We kind of teamed up with them, but Catholic Charities is who sent us down, and was with a group of, I would say it was only about 18 to 20 of us, and we were down for about a week. Hard work.
I mean, you actually helped them dig out, clean their homes. I mean, it's hands-on.
When we were in Puerto Rico, we were in full hazmat suits with respirators and goggles and gloves and helmets. I mean, it was so hot. They literally told us to kind of eyeball each other and check on each other because the temperature was so hot. We were doing such manual labor that we had to make sure each other didn't get overheated and whatnot. So the people who were down there who were without running water and were without electricity and air conditioning, I mean, we were able to take breaks and take water breaks and go home and sleep at night. So the giving aspect of that, that was one of the most rewarding missions trips that I've gotten to be part of, and I was happy that I got to do it with a group of folks from right here in New York City.
That's great. I mean, like you said, it's so rewarding to do that type of work, but when you're making that sacrifice, you're leaving your home, your bed at night, and you're going to sleep in a foreign place, and to help people. And first of all, it makes you feel better for yourself, but also you feel this is what we're called to do as followers of Christ. We're called to go out of ourselves. A lot of times in this world, in this day and age, people aren't doing that. Everything wants to come in.
Yeah.
And you go to these places and you see that, you think of the things that we get upset about and we lose sleep over, and here they're losing their livelihoods, their homes. They don't have a roof over their heads. They don't know where they're going to sleep tomorrow. It really is heart-wrenching when you see that. But to know that you're making a difference and using your gifts and talents to do that makes a big difference.
It was just a feeling that I couldn't get away from. When I found out that there was the opportunity to go down, and I knew, well, listen, you're going to take off work and you're going to be unpaid for that time. And for me personally, it was just there was no question. I have to go. I can help. They need the help. Why wouldn't I go? So, and I remember some of the team members that we were with were, from young to very old. There was a lady who went with us who was well above 65 who went down and helped out.
That's old.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But there were some really young people. What I meant was compared, there was some, I think there were some teenagers who came down with us. So there was a range of volunteers.
Okay.
Not that anyone was old. Not at all.
But it doesn't matter what age. You can still make a difference.
Giving hearts.
Exactly. So let me just check this.
Yeah, it's smelling like it's coming along.
Yeah, but all those vegetables and flavors just meld together. It reminds us when we were a kid, right? Waking up in the morning,
right? Yeah.
Especially on a Sunday, smelling the onions, the garlic.
Yeah.
The garlic. We forgot to put the garlic in.
Whoops.
Oh, it's right over here.
Yeah.
Let's put this garlic in.
All right.
You see, we all make mistakes. Right?
No, it's not a mistake. It's just out of order.
Put this in here.
And then that's going to go.
I'll let that saute a little bit. We're going to take a break and we'll be back.
Sounds good.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll come back with Michael Padula and we'll taste this delicious barese frittata. Don't go away. Welcome back to Breaking Bread with QVC's Michael Padula. I'm preparing barese frittata. We're going to put the finishing touches on this, Michael. Put it in the oven, and then we'll have a little conversation, and then we'll taste it.
Can't wait.
All right, so
yeah.
I have the eggs heated up here. I have my vegetables sauteed in here, which we have basically potatoes, small potatoes, peppers, onions, garlic. And here we have our eggs, grated cheese, breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, a little hot pepper. I'm gonna pour this over. Pour it all around. This right back here. I'm going to let this sit for a minute. Just make sure all the eggs and the vegetables all blend together. And then I'm going to pop it right in the oven here. I'm going to bake it for about 15 minutes or so.
smells so good.
It smells good. It's not even finished.
Yeah.
Okay, I just popped this in the oven. We let it bake for about 10 minutes or so. We're gonna take it out right now, and doesn't that smell good?
Oh man, does it smell good. Listen.
Look at that. Wow. That looks fantastic.
Prettier than anything I present on QVC, I'll tell you that.
I tell you, everything is, appearance. Presentation is everything. We could make sure that it flips out.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take this like this. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna flip it right here. I'm gonna put this right here, like this. Right. Flip it over.
Boom.
And there we go. So of course you would put it on a dish.
Right.
And then we can cut this up.
Okay.
And like I said, you can make anything you have in the refrigerator, any vegetable, meat, fish, any leftover.
Right.
And we use all fresh vegetables today.
Sure.
So, and this makes, if you want to make it for lunch, you could put a nice bed of salad underneath.
Yeah.
And just put a nice piece of omelet on top. You put this right here in the dish. And of course, you can garnish it with a little piece of Italian parsley, make it look nice. And we can put this right there. So let me know. What do you think?
A 10 and 11.
What do you think?
Wow. Listen.
Now, of course, if you want to put some extra salt and pepper,
right?
I think I don't think it's
needed, but
good, right? Now,
it's more than good.
tell me,
Wow.
how could we add a little southern flavor to an omelet like this?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
I mean, come on, no,
Well,
that's me kidding around. I mean, listen, people in the South love to put a little Tabasco on.
Right, right.
I don't mind it either. I love a little Tabasco on, especially on an egg mixture.
Right.
But
what other ingredients, tenant ingredients for southern food?
I would just say that like Southerners love to just put a little spice on whatever they're
right.
eating. We eat a lot of seafood down south. There's a lot of, people ask me all the time, especially living in
Right.
New York, they ask me, have you ever had crawfish?
Right.
Yes, plenty of times. I would just say that,
A lot of shrimp.
Southern
They use a lot of shrimp. Right.
sausage,
Right.
crawfish. I've had alligator tail,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. Lots of fish, jambalaya,
all that
but
stuff.
Little spice to it.
I was down in New Orleans a couple of times, and of course the restaurants you can't beat.
Forgot.
But every restaurant was unique, and everyone had something special, and the lines were out the door. I haven't been there in a number of years. I don't know how it is now. Is it still as popular?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, things
Bourbon
are different
Street.
a little bit now in the since the last 24 months. But Louisiana is still super known for its food and its culture and its people, and very similar to Italian people in New York. The Louisiana people in the South love to gather
Right.
for food. It's a familial thing. It's a way that you show love.
Now, what do you like to cook?
There's not many things I don't like to cook. I will say that this sounds a little bit un-Southern of me, but I've kind of had my fill for the moment of Southern cuisine, and I'm not super good at jambalaya etouffee, gumbo.
Right.
That takes a little bit more skill than maybe I have. So I try to keep it simple. I love to cook fish. I love to cook chicken. And listen, I'll just put it out there. I love to try crock pot recipes and
Do you
whatnot.
cook a lot at home?
I try to,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I literally try to limit it to one time out a week, and that's
Right.
normally for a fun brunch or something. But I
Right.
love to cook at home.
Well, you must be very busy. I mean, your schedule, right? I mean,
My schedule.
how many hours a day are you on the show? I mean, do you do the show?
It depends. Every week is different. I was on this morning, as a matter of fact. We had a 2-hour show this morning. I've been on 9 hours in a day, and then I've been on not for a couple of days.
Right.
Middle of the night, first thing in the morning.
So you're like the priest. We're always on call.
I'm just like
I mean, some days are
Exactly.
crazy, some days are less hectic, but you're always
I get
on
it.
call and you're always doing something. I'm a chaplain now for the fire department too.
Yeah, right.
So it's another response. And I get the calls in the middle of the night, you get this and that. But we do what we have to do.
Sure.
That's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
As we said, faith. And where did you get your faith? You got it from a kid when you went to school. Your parents, they instilled into you these things that we're called to do.
Right.
And that's why you're such a person you are, going to these missions, caring for people, trying to do your best to go out of your way, making sacrifices for people. And that's what we try to bring to the show and remind people. Those are the things that are missing today in our world.
Sure.
I really appreciate you
Oh, please,
coming
my pleasure.
here. It's good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
And
Agreed.
the last time you were helping to film the show, now you're in the front of the house. You're a star on QVC. maybe one day you'll own a company, a film company, and you'll get a priest to come on.
And you'll be the priest I call.
And don't forget my cookbook.
Your cookbook.
Right, really.
gotta call my
Breaking Bread
producers at
with
QVC,
Msgr Jamie, okay?
Yeah, you got it.
I went from feeding the stomach to feeding the soul.
And you do both very well.
I try.
You do.
But it's people like you that inspire us to keep
thank
doing
you.
what we do.
Thank you very much. It's
And
been my pleasure.
let's work together, and anything else I can help you with. And
I'll love to come back sometime
that
too.
sounds great. I
Sounds
look
good to
forward
me,
to
too.
it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Breaking Bread with Michael Padula, and talking about his life and what he does, not just on TV and QVC and doing all that stuff on TV, but who he is as a person and how he goes out of himself to help others. And that's what we try to bring about in the show. Christ was around for everyone. He ate with the sinners and he ate with the saints. He was there for people. He was always sat down with a meal, tried to talk to them. And that's what we try to bring out in the show. Bringing together, faith, family, of course, food, but, friends. That's what it's all about. And even not just friends, people that we don't know, to do things for them that we have to go out of ourselves and reach out to people and try our best, to be there for people, help people, and really encourage people, especially in times of need, crisis, floods, earthquakes, things like that, where people are really down and out. That's when they need God in their lives, and it's up to us to bring that together. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Breaking Bread. I'll see you next time.